This is All of It on WNYC. I'm Allison Stewart. We're closing out the show today with an NAACP Image Award nominated film that hits close to home. Love, Brooklyn uses brownstone Brooklyn as a backdrop to investigate a changing city and changing relationships. Each of the three main characters has at least one thing making them look back, or keeping them from moving forward. Roger, played by Andre Holland, is trying to write about gentrification, but he can't get past the first page and uses drinking, smoking, and flirting as a way to mask his writer's block. Roger also finds himself torn between two friends/romantic interests. First, there's Roger's ex-girlfriend, Casey, played by my next guest, Nicole Beharie. Casey is an artist and gallery owner. She inherited the space from her grandmother, but she's having trouble selling pieces in a changing Brooklyn. Meanwhile, Roger's current muse, Nicole, played by DeWanda Wise, is the widowed mother of a young girl, and she's still trying emotionally to stay afloat. Love, Brooklyn is nominated for Best Independent Motion Picture at the NAACP Image Awards. The film was directed by Rachel Holder in her feature debut. She's nominated for Outstanding Breakthrough Creative in Motion Picture. I started by asking Nicole how she would describe her character, Casey.
Oh, well, Casey was a gift to me because I've oftentimes sort of been in dramas or in stories that are a little bit, not that this isn't serious, but just deals with sort of like heavier fare.
Yeah.
And she's a sort of like a lighthearted, go with the flow advocate for artists, much like yourself, Allison Stewart. Well, I don't know about the lighthearted part, but like the go with the advocating for the arts, which is like something that I love that you guys do here. She just wants to see her artists that she represents paid and well taken care of. And as the community's changing, is sort of trying to figure out what that looks like, and is surprised that she's not able to support herself. And she has this relationship with Roger that is it on again, off again, or is it just complicated?
Well, it's interesting.
I don't want to give too much away, but yeah.
Yeah, because Rachel, there's not like a love triangle, but they're kind of all bouncing off each other. These three people are experiencing life and they're experiencing it with each other. How would you describe the relationship between Casey and Roger and Casey and Nicole?
The way that I saw it when I read the pages for the first time was this movie felt like two women deciding whether or not they wanted to be with a man. And what was funny to me and lighthearted was that they were deciding in front of him, and that this wasn't conversations that they were having with their friends or their therapists or their mothers. Right. They were talking directly to him and giving, and not to be cheeky. They were just being really honest, and it was obvious that they had done the work, needing to do some more. One of them needed to do a little bit more, but I feel like it was just a really cool way into a romance where the women had the power.
Nicole, Casey and Nicole, they kind of know about each other a little bit.
Yeah, I have to say too, Nicole, I am Nicole Beharie, but Nicole is by the wonderful DeWanda Wise.
Right. It gets hard.
Character.
You're right.
And she's like, incredible in this. So I just want to I'm going to throw that in there.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's been messing me up a little bit.
It can be confusing. People are like, so with Nicole, and it's like, but yeah.
The two women in this film, they are similar in some ways, but they're also at different stages in their life. Nicole, how do the women world sort of move through the world differently?
Oh, that's interesting. I don't know. I mean, I can speak to it a little bit. I think Rachel sort of created what that fully is, but I think the interesting thing about Nicole, the character, is that she's a mother, and that that they have they have very strict boundaries, whereas the relationship with Casey and Roger, the boundaries are sort of nebulous and a little mushy, and it's like they don't know what it is, but it seems like Nicole is being very definitive about what it is and what her expectations are. And she seems to understand more how the world is changing, and have made more like peace with things moving forward in a way. But she's also mourning. It's hard for me to talk about. This is like me from the outside, because
Sure.
that's not my character. But looking in, she feels like a more grounded choice for him than Casey, because Casey's probably seeing other people as well, and not certain as to whether or not she's staying put. Um, what's going to happen with the gallery is a big deal for them. Paying the rent, just making ends meet, is a big deal, and I don't know if she has the space in her mind to maintain a relationship in the same way.
Rachel, what do you think about the way that the two women move through the world differently?
I felt like Nicole, played by the wonderful DeWanda Wise, I feel like her character was less of a moving target physically, but emotionally was. I felt like Casey, because they had all that background, they had a historical background. Their chemistry was born years before the movie starts. She was always sort of comfortable physically close to Roger, and then could also comfortably be at a distance, and then still in his head. And while DeWanda's character, Nicole, would, while she was like physically comfortable with him as well, she was emotionally and mentally at a distance from him. And was sort of purposefully making sure that her heart and mind would be that way. Whereas with Casey, she was just sort of like, well, let's see, how I feel this morning when I wake up, where my heart and mind will be. And that sort of was the difference between the two.
Let's listen to the way they talk about the relationship. This is a clip from Love Brooklyn. It's Roger and Casey, and they're talking about Roger's dating life. Let's listen.
But you're seeing somebody, right?
Who business is that but mine?
Tell me about her.
What you want to know? Her name is Nicole.
Nicole.
Yeah, you do not know her.
How do you figure I don't know her?
I know.
It's
I know
Brooklyn.
I know who you know, and you don't know her. Okay. But she's cool.
Yeah.
She's cool. She's an open person, honest, super honest. Radically honest. Yeah. About what she wants and needs, through a fault sometimes, but yeah, I guess she has to be.
Yeah.
And she got a little girl. Her husband died in an accident.
Jesus.
Yeah. So I don't know what's gonna happen, but for now, we seeing each other and it's good.
Nicole, the actor, what was interesting to you about the way that they talked and about how it evolved in that 60 seconds?
Oh, in the 60 seconds, I don't know. What is interesting? I mean, it's just familiar.
Yeah.
And it goes from playful to, I think, some things are revealed about Nicole or who he's partnering with that makes it unusual for what she's expected of him, that he's engaging with someone that comes with as much stuff, and that's a little bit more serious than she's accustomed to. So it's a little, it changes the tone in that sense. But I just love, like, even, it's been a while. We shoot these things like a year ago or whatever. I just love how they banter and how they know each other. Like, he knows where she's going and what she wants to hear. And she can tell when he's withholding. So there's nothing like, those type of relationships, those long-standing friendships are just golden in this day and age when there's so little connection, So I can see why they want to hold on to each other, even if it's a little toxic.
It's interesting watching that clip because I looked at your boots and they're Prada boots. You're in the grass. And I was like, ooh, she's got a gallery, but she can afford Prada boots. Does that say something about her? I don't know.
Yeah,
They're
girl,
vintage.
Consignment. You got to figure it out.
Yes.
We're in the city.
Thrift store.
It is true. I'm speaking with actor Nicole Beharie and director Rachel Holder about the film Love, Brooklyn. Rachel, a review of the film in essence described it as a coming-of-age story about adults confronting the reality of making tough decisions through unexpected change. Does that phrase, coming-of-age story about adults, does that ring true for you?
Yeah. I feel like adults, we're always sort of coming of age. We're always growing, hopefully. Hopefully we don't stop doing the work until it's over. I just wanted to, can I just circle back to the grass scene for a second?
Sure.
I want to shout out our cinematographer, Martine, for that moment. Because we can't see it, I'm just hearing it for the first time, and it's making me focus on the picture more than I think I normally do when I watch it, ironically. And that shot that day, we had lost a location that was supposed to be in a restaurant. And we decided to, that day, shoot it on the grass. And Martine is just a stunning, amazing cinematographer. And the way that he worked with light is just, the beauty that he brought to this was so defining. And so I just wanted to shout that out. How beautiful that moment was visually.
What was that like for you, Nicole, to have to switch gears like that? You're not going to be in a restaurant.
It was a crazy day because then after that it ended up raining, right? Mm-hmm. We ran out of light. So the scene is actually shorter than there was a lot more scene, but we ran out of light, you know? Hence, I wasn't going to say this, but now that she's revealed, hence the Prada boots, right? Because the outfit was for like a different locale, for like a restaurant. So we weren't supposed to be wearing that in the grass. I wasn't going to say that, but now that that's been revealed, that makes more sense, right?
Yeah.
It's all becoming clear.
It's all becoming clear, but this is movie magic, right?
Yes, independent movie magic.
It was beautiful. Andre is the most flexible, capable, generous actor. So we got to just kind of, be, and in a way, being outdoors and everything, other than the constraints of like, we're losing light and time, and are they going to get the full story? I'm always very concerned with that as like an actor. It tells the story, even though there are bits missing and there are little contextual things that change, like you noticing the clothing is a bit off. It's like, you wonder about stuff like that, but yeah, it happens, it happens, but it was a gift, and it was lovely to be outside in the grass. I don't remember the last time I just laid in the grass and looked up at the sky like that on a set.
Rachel, you filmed in Brooklyn. People will recognize as your characters are walking down the street. What makes this a uniquely Brooklyn story?
I think so. Someone else was talking about how we didn't go to all the cliche, iconic spots of Brooklyn. We were sort of finding the spaces that were beautiful to us. And because I have grown up living in Brooklyn, being in Brooklyn my entire life, there were unexpected places, I guess unexpected to other people, spaces that were really beautiful and defined Brooklyn for me. I think the parks are really defining. Brooklyn has the most beautiful parks, and I wanted, one of the North Stars with this movie was to create an energy in the pace and sound and look that would leave an audience feeling like they'd spent time in nature. And I think that Brooklyn is a wonderful place to, as Nicole, the actor, just said, lay in the grass and look up at the trees.
Nicole, your character has inherited this space from their grandmother. She has a certain feeling about it. Was it a dream come true for her to have this gallery, or does she have to make this gallery work? Or maybe both?
I love how you phrase that. I think it is both. I think it's a dream come true until it's not, until you change kind of the sort of thesis that we were talking about, like that coming of age as adults, how we continue to change and how the environs continue to change and how we react to that. But it is something that she very much wants to make work. And legacy is, we talk about gentrification, but also there's just legacy in these communities and these old buildings and all the restaurants and the cafes and, going into places and people sort of know your name or even your family name, in the community from having decades of being anchored there. And I think it's more about that even than the selling of art. It ends up being about something, more than like skin deep.
Rachel, I have to ask you, I watched it 2 or 3 times. That was Lisa
What?
Luca. You have Lisa Luca in this film, is that right?
Oh, yes. It's like, yeah.
For book nerds, we all know Lisa Luca as a publisher, as this great person. How did you get her in your film?
Andre. I mean, how do we get anybody in our film? It was Andre. Yeah, that was solely him. It was an idea that he had, and yeah, I don't want to give too much away about what she does, but yeah, it was Andre.
She's playing her part. Art is a big part of this film. Rachel, did you have an art director? Did you pick the art yourself? How did that come up on the screen? The various art
we had an amazing production designer, Lily, who scoured the internet with a reference point from my art decks for the film, and found known artists and then aspiring artists to work with. And it was important to us to center artists of color. And she was wonderful in finding the art and also just making the art of our locations, like every room, even when we had to sort of pivot and start over on the day, she was able to make come alive and feel lived in a way that would normally be done in a full build out.
And there's this reference in the story of Lot's wife from the Bible, and she's turned into a pillar of salt by looking back at the destruction of Sodom. It's a piece by Henry Tanner. And it's about this lesson of, do you look back? Do you not look back? Do you look back? Do you not look back? Nicole, there's a moment in the show, in the cab, do you look back to see if he's there? Do you not look back? Why was this an important part of Casey's growing up in this film? This idea of, do you look back?
You know what's crazy? I can be honest about this, is like, there's always something in a piece that you work on that like stays with you, that was like for you, And for me, that was the thing that was for me. It was like, wow, this story about becoming a pillar of salt when you're saved from a thing, or when something is changing. I just love that she didn't, and then at the very last second, she kind of can't help herself, or is trying to hold on to the thing. And we all kind of, we all can understand that. But for me, I love that bit of allegory and the way that the painting looks. And apparently there are a few paintings of the same biblical reference. But yeah, that just concept, even as we're like navigating the world that Nicole, the actress, is in, the way that Hollywood is shifting, the political landscape, everything that's happening. It's like, do you continue to try to hold on to what was, or see things the way that you saw them, even if it was just like a year or 6 months ago? So I love that. Again, another beautiful gift in this piece. Sorry, I'm getting like all touchy-feely, but that is how I feel.
No, that was great.
That's what public radio is for. Get all as touchy-feely as you like.
Yeah.
2 final questions. Rachel, it's your feature directorial debut. What do you know now that you didn't know at the beginning?
What do I know now? Oh my gosh, so much. But I'm like, what's interesting to say out loud is what my mind is trying to find right now. So the way that I describe like television directing versus feature directing is like playing scales on a piano is television directing, and feature directing feels like a song. And something that I have to do in television directing, because you're basically carrying out someone else's art and keeping the boat afloat. And feature directing, it's more yours. But it's also a plane that's being built while flying. And I guess like one of the biggest lessons is the constant rewriting and how it can be thrilling. And I guess the biggest lesson is to not be afraid of the rewriting that happens at every stage. Writing is rewriting, and especially in filmmaking, especially in creating a song, you're always sort of starting over a bit to make it better, to make it more understandable, to make it what it should be. I think that's one of my biggest takeaways.
Nicole, you were great in Miss Juneteenth. We're going to see you on the morning show soon. What does a part need for you to say yes?
Oh man, I guess it has to be something that like, something that I feel like is global or like relatable on just like a human level, even if it's very specific to someone who like myself to play it. And then the people, it's always the people. Like I always come in loving the people and wanting to do the best possible job. So it's usually from like that hard space, either from admiration or in this case, it was like I knew Dre really well. And Rachel and I had some great conversations about what this would be. So I was like, yes, I'm in, let's do it. And kind of like did everything we could to like make it happen. So yeah, those are the things for me. And then, a good script that kind of goes without saying, but something that I feel like is asking a question. And this one is very, very clear. I think I guess that's the idea.
That was my conversation about Love, Brooklyn with actors Nicole Beharie and director Rachel Holder. The film has been nominated for 5 NAACP Image Awards, including Outstanding Independent Motion Picture. And by the way, I interviewed Andre Holland when he was in studio with Terrell Alvin McCraney for the revival of the play The Brothers' Size, which ran at the Shed in 2025. And I got to briefly ask Andre about Love, Brooklyn, what was hard about working on the film, and why the heck his character never rides in the darn bike lanes.
Oh man, producing. Woo! It wore me out. It wore me out. But I'm so proud of the movie and so proud of what we made and ready to do it again, strangely.
Nice.
Except the bikes, man. You were not in the bike lanes.
Everybody
You were
says that.
not in the bike lanes.
Okay. To be fair, Allison, there aren't that many bike lanes in Brook, so maybe we need to, start a petition for more bike lanes. You know what I mean?
Go. Urban development
You
right
see
there.
that? Yeah.
And that is all of it for our NAACP Image Award nominee show today. The award show will air live on BET and CBS this Saturday at 8 p.m. I'm Allison Stewart. I appreciate you listening, and I appreciate you. I'll meet you back here next time.